Hey guys, what's up? KillJoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Today we are breaking down the entire cast of Scream 5. We're going through all of them and seeing who's sus. Among Us is dead now, so that joke probably doesn't translate, but I'm gonna try and figure out who Ghostface is, just based off of all the news that we have so far. And just to avoid confusion and also angry comments, all of this is just speculation. I don't know who Ghostface is, this is all speculation, and as I've said in videos past, I will never report on a leak of who Ghostface is, so y'all don't have to worry about that. That would just take all the fun out of watching this movie in the first place. Now before I get into it, I'm gonna need you guys to like this video and subscribe for more horror content. Also, please consider supporting me on Patreon. It's going to help fund my Scream fan film that I'm working on. The more supporters I get, the quicker it's gonna come out. Alright, now let's get into it.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Well, I'm Pennywise the dancing clown.
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast!
You son of a...
God, don't do that.
Well, sometimes that is better.
So we're gonna just jump right into this. Let's start talking about the main three. So the main three characters coming back is of course Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott being our first one. I seriously doubt that she's going to be Ghostface. I talked about in a previous video, actually my first Scream 5 update, if she would be the killer in the new Scream film. In that video I talk about how I really wanted to see something different in Scream 5 and I said, hey, what if Sidney was the killer? That would suck, let's be honest. She's one of the biggest Scream queens of all time, one of the biggest final girls. We couldn't do that. You couldn't do that. You wouldn't do that to Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween, so you definitely wouldn't do that to Neve Campbell in Scream. Also, a big criticism that I have of Scream 4 is that Sidney looked so weak in that movie compared to the other films. I mean, sure, she's older, but she barely puts up a fight against Jill. I'm really hoping they give her a different treatment in this new film, like she actually fights back against Ghostface. But there is also a lot of speculation online that Sidney Prescott won't have that much involvement with this film, maybe just like a cameo, which I could see happening realistically, but at the same time, I would like her to have a big role. But that role is not going to be Ghostface, in my opinion. Who knows? And then there's David Arquette as Dewey Riley. I've always seen Dewey as just too goofy of a guy to be Ghostface. I think there's a theory online that says all the times that he got stabbed was like faked and that he was actually doing stuff for the Ghostface killers in like 1 and 2, but I don't know, that's so far-fetched to me. I seriously doubt these new directors would put that in their script anyways. And also, I don't really see Dewey being Ghostface. I mean, I could see him getting killed in this new one. I definitely don't see him being the Ghostface killer though. And trust me, I don't want him to die either, but I mean, if one of the main three has to die, Dewey's kind of like the weakest link in my opinion. Which brings me to Courtney Cox as Gale Weathers. Now I've talked about this a little bit in the past Scream 5 update. Courtney Cox was actually asking Wes Craven to kill her off in Scream 4. That of course did not happen. So does Courtney Cox still want her iconic character killed off in this new film? Or does she want to be the killer in the new film? Yes. Now I can see a lot of reasons why Gale Weathers would want to kill people. Sidney's punched her in the face a few times, and I'm not so sure if Dewey Riley and her are together in this new movie. In real life, Courtney Cox and David Arquette got a divorce in 2016. So is that going to play into the story a little bit? Like, are they not really gonna have like hijinks together like they have in the past films? And maybe Dewey's dating Deputy Judy, which I'll tell you what would make me pretty mad, especially since she was pretty sus of that character in Scream 4. But personally, I think if Dewey's biting on them lemon squares, he's gonna get stabbed in the face as well. And will the wielder of that knife be Courtney Cox as Gale Weathers? I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know. That's kind of far-fetched too, but I could see it happening. If one of the main three were to be the Ghostface killer, it would probably be her. Although, with that opinion being said, probably not gonna happen. That would be a pretty cool fan film though. That's not any kind of hint as to what I'm doing with my movie, but it would be cool. Now, it was recently revealed that Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega's characters would be the Carpenter sisters. Although I thought that was revealed like a long time ago, so I didn't really see that as news, but I guess it's confirmed now, so there you go. There's also been a lot of hinting at Selena Gomez being in this new movie. That is not at all confirmed, but Selena Gomez could be the opening kill of the new film. And now if she is she going to be the third Carpenter sister? Which leads me to believe that if she was murdered, who would be the easiest person and closest to her that would be able to murder her? One of her sisters. Now in Jenna Ortega's character description, which it is confirmed now that she's playing Tara Carpenter, it says that she's upset with her older sister, Melissa Barrera's character, because she left her estranged with a rough house life. Now what does that mean exactly? Is she angry at her older sister because her little sister got killed by somebody else? Or maybe is this all just something that she staged so that she could like kill her whole family and all her friends? That would be pretty out there, but I wouldn't mind seeing Jenna Ortega killing people. She was pretty badass in The Babysitter too, and I wouldn't mind her being Ghostface in this new film. Honestly, that's just something I read online, and I think it would make more sense if Jenna Ortega was just upset with Melissa Barrera's character for not being there when their other sister got murdered. And maybe also there's some rough stuff going on with like their parents. Jenna Ortega Boyega's character also has a girlfriend in this new film named Frances. I don't know how big this character's role is going to be, probably not like huge, but could her girlfriend be the killer in this new film? I mean, it's something they've done in the franchise before. I really see this film taking a new direction with its killer. It's not gonna be a repeat of the past. Although, this film might comment on the fact that it's kind of a remake, kind of a continued sequel or whatever. I speculated in the past that it might make fun of what Halloween 2018 did, where it's like just a legacy sequel to the original film, although it's like 40 years later. This film might be doing the same thing, except instead of being an actual direct sequel to its original film, it might just be making fun of those tropes. But then again, this film's not gonna rely on meta humor that much, but I think there's still gonna be a little touch of it. I mean, you just can't have a Scream film without like a little bit of meta humor. Scream 4 really pushed the envelope with the meta humor, but I think if you just like tone it down just a little bit, like bring it on back like how it was in the first film, that would be fine. Then that brings me to Kyle Gallner's character. It was revealed that his name would just be Vince. We don't really have a last name. There was also that rumor that was going around that his last name would be Loomis, so that he'd be connected to Billy Loomis somehow, which I still think is possible. So if he's connected to Billy Loomis, like maybe he's his long-lost love child or something, is he going to be the killer in the new film? I mean, just look at Kyle Gallner for a minute. He kind of looks like Skeet Ulrich. And the other thing that I pointed out about Kyle Gallner is Kyle Gallner is also in the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street, which is a rough fucking movie. So wouldn't it be kind of meta and funny if Kyle Gallner was the killer in the new film? In a way, he could kind of represent that remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street, which is just a blemish on that franchise. That would be kind of cool. It is interesting that we didn't get a last name reveal of him. That's making me pretty suspicious. Like maybe that's gonna reveal something about his character. Maybe his last name really is Loomis. And maybe that was put out by someone who was working on the film that was trying to leak it. But I think the more likely thing here is that that was just a fan putting that into IMDb or whatever. I am speculating that there's going to be more than one killer though. I think Roger L. Jackson even confirmed that a little while ago. And I'm not just saying 2 people, I'm thinking like 3 or 4 people. So you're gonna have all these red herrings in the film, and then like at the end you're gonna find out, oh my god, like it's actually these 3 people the whole time. And you were trying to figure out like which one it was, and it was actually 3 people. It's kind of like what the original Scream did with the having 2 killers, but then it's like, oh wait, there's 3. Just speculation, don't give me any angry comments. I don't know that for sure, you silly buttholes. Then there's Dylan Minnette, who's playing Wes Hicks, which is so unbelievably sus. Everything about his name is so suspicious, man. I will say this though, Judy Hicks was really suspicious in Scream 4. Although she didn't have any involvement with those killers, she might have some involvement with the killers in this new film. There is also that theory online that Billy and Judy Hicks had a secret love child together, and could it be Wes Hicks? After thinking about that a little more though, I feel like it's a little too obvious. His name's Wes Hicks, like people are gonna know that going into this film. But what if Kyle Gallner's Vince character is actually the love child of Billy and Judy? And the whole time everyone's thinking it's Dylan Minnette, oh it's gonna be this guy because his like last name is Hicks and all that. Maybe he's like Judy's son the whole time. Maybe Judy just had a son with someone else. And also the other thing to think about is that if these are high school students in 2022 or 2021, whenever this movie takes place, if it was Billy and Judy's kid, the character would have to be 24 or 25 years old, meaning that character wouldn't be in high school. So pretty much I think that theory's debunked a little bit. I mean, they could fuck with the timeline a little bit and not tell us. Like it could be a direct continuation to Scream 4 taking place like maybe a year after that. And then that theory would still work, but I doubt it. I've also read online about Jack Quaid's character being kinda sus. His character description was pretty vague besides the fact that like he's dating Sam, who's Melissa Barrera's character. He's the sweet boyfriend that like cares about her feelings and stuff. I don't know. I mean, once again, this is something they've done in the past. I really doubt they're gonna repeat it. I think Jack Quaid's pretty safe. He's too obvious to be the killer. Also, Jack Quaid is so sweet. Just look at his face. They're not gonna make him the killer. Or is that exactly what they want us to believe? Honestly, I don't know. I got nothing for that. I really don't think it's gonna be Jack Quaid. I think it's definitely gonna be somebody else. But once again, that might be a perfect reason to make him the killer. Everybody's a suspect, as a great man once said. Mason Gooding's character is also a little bit sus. We don't really know too much about him. I believe his character description said that he was like an athlete and that he's dating one of the other like side characters. I don't know, there's just not really too much there to go off of to say like, oh yeah, he could be Ghostface. Although I am speculating that one of these side characters is going to be like one of the Ghostfaces, not the main Ghostface. Because there's always like one dude who's like kind of running the operation. I feel like that's gonna be one of the main characters. But then like the other 2 side ghost faces, which once again speculating that there's gonna be 3, are gonna be side characters that we didn't see coming. Like potentially Jasmine Savoy Brown, Mikey Madsen, they might be ghost faces, who knows? We haven't had a whole lot of female ghost faces, so I could definitely see that happening in this film. Overall though, I think even after all this speculation, we're still gonna be surprised by who Ghostface is in this movie. And although it is fun to speculate on all these kind of things, I don't really want to exactly exactly know who Ghostface is going into this film. That's like half the fun ruined right there. So just to reiterate, if that does get leaked on like Reddit or something, I will never report on it. In fact, I won't even look at it. I don't want to read it, I don't want to know. I already know so much about this movie already, I don't want to know anymore. I'll tell you what though, this is probably the most prepared I've ever been going into a movie. I mean, I've been talking about this thing for almost a year, and it's still another year until it comes out. We just passed the 1 year mark, by the way. So what do you guys think about all my Ghostface speculations? Do you think I might be onto something, or am I just completely crazy and I'm missing something? I mean, probably. Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching my Scream 5 video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content. Please consider supporting me on Patreon. It's going to help fund this crazy new Scream project I'm working on. I think I have a rough draft, at least, of the script now, so I'm making progress. But a good Ghostface costume is expensive, so please help me out on Patreon. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at KillJoyJake1 and on Instagram at KillJoy_Jake. And if you're on TikTok, follow me there. Not that I really love TikTok or anything, but you know, go check it out. KillJoyJake on TikTok. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.